Hey everybody, Kevin Shirley here, Long and Foster Real Estate and realastute.com. Happy New Year. I know around this time of year, everyone starts asking you about your New Year's resolutions. And I'm curious if you've set resolutions and how you go about goal setting. I have set New Year's resolutions in the past. They are always doomed to fail because they are things like, I'm going to make more money this quarter. I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to eat better. The problem with goals like that or resolutions like that is that they're not specific enough to be at all helpful, And so my technique for goal setting is something that I've sort of come to organically over the last few years. And my technique is that at the end of December, say, I usually take a week or two and I pull out all my old day planners from the last 6 months or so, all my notebooks, and I set myself some journaling activities. So I'll ask myself sort of, what have been my wins for the quarter? What have been my not so wins, my things that the goals I didn't achieve? What can I learn from them? What have I learned over the last 3 or 4 months? What momentum can I bring to bear in the next quarter? And I do a lot of thinking, and I identify usually 3 big goals and then usually another 5 or 6 or 8 sort of projects that I'm going to be working on over the quarter. And this is a technique that has proven helpful. The part of the plan that I have found most useful and that I've had to struggle with the most over the last sort of, during the pandemic, this is a skill that I've kind of begun to teach myself, is how to break a project or a goal down into its most intrinsic pieces, the smallest possible action steps. Because sometimes you'll look at something on your to-do list and it's just sitting there day after day after day and you're not getting to it. And what I've realized as a chronic procrastinator is the reason that happens is that I haven't actually taken the time to break that task down into its component parts. I saw something recently. They were talking about mental health and how some days you're on your mind can be the task of making a cup of coffee. But within that task, depending on the energy and bandwidth that you're bringing to it, that tiny action can really consist of multiple steps. And some days you don't have all those steps in you. Some days, make a cup of coffee, you do it it's sort of autopilot. Other days, maybe you're not feeling it. Maybe you wake up and you're in a funk, and you've got to break that task down into open the refrigerator, grab the coffee, open the cabinet, take a cup of coffee, take a cup out. And, you have to break things down. And it is something that I am not good at. And I've had to really plan on. But what I noticed when I did this last year for the first time is it really made the day-to-day decisions easier. I recently read a book, maybe within the last 6 months or so, by a woman called Gretchen Rubin, and it's called Better Today Than Yesterday. And it's all about making big decisions so that on a day-to-day basis, you don't have to make the little decisions. I'm not going to drink. There you go. I don't have to make that decision every day. I'm not going to eat carbs. That's a decision I've already made. I don't have to make it every day, so that when that situation arises in your real life, then you've already made the decision. You don't have to struggle with it. And this is an idea that I've been playing around with my goal setting, is once I can get those goals broken down into their sort of the most granular action steps, and those steps get into my to-do list, I don't have to think about it again. I don't have to wonder, why am I doing this thing today? I don't have to argue with myself about, should I do it, should I not do it? It's there, it's shown up on my to-do list. I've got my employee hat on. I'm a good employee. I'm going to do that thing. And I don't have to really think about it. But it is a skill that I've really had to work on over the last year. But it is something that I can see a tangible difference in the way I approach my goals, my projects. And now I know when I'm stuck, the reason I'm stuck is because I haven't taken the time to break that task down further. Because sometimes you get, you've broken it down, you think you've got it to its smallest step, and then that action item stays on your to-do list day after day after day. And what I've learned is if it hasn't been done after a couple of days, there's a problem. And I know that I need to break that down. And what is the next step I can do in 1 minute? What's the next step I can do in 5 minutes? And then do it. And that is a strategy and a technique that has started to really pay off for me in the last 6 months. So there you go. So to answer my own question, I do not set New Year's resolutions. But my question to you is, what do you do? Do you set New Year's resolutions? Do you set an annual plan or a quarterly plan for yourself? And what's the technique that you use to do it? And how do you know sort of on a daily basis that you're succeeding with that? So I leave it to you. Hit me back. I'd love to hear from you. And as I said in the beginning, Happy New Year. See you soon. Bye-bye.